Hare Krishna. Om Gyanavilamdasya Gyananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Hare Krishna. We will continue our discussion on 29th chapter. So here we were discussing how Paramatma feature. This is we can access Paramatma feature when we are able to control our mind. That means if we are able to meditate properly, when we are in a deep meditation. Meditation means when mind is focused on one particular point. So even it is possible for whatever scientific research they are doing, because they are so much focused, they're able to get the access. That's why they are able to discover many things. This is also to be understood, that the discoveries and in new things which they are inventing, the scientists, even they have, that is also done by Paramatma only. He inspires them from within to think in a particular way, and then they do it. It is not by chance. So this should be understood. Paramatma gives the intelligence. Matta smritir jnanam apohanam cha. So this was one topic we discussed yesterday, and we also saw. So here Narada Muni is trying to help how this is the first feature of Paramatma. So, what is the purpose of Paramatma? Also, we discussed two things. Here, one reason is given that he is helping a living entity to come back to spiritual world. Another is to make the living entity enjoy in this world. Also, you need Paramatma, because all the things which we are having in this world, they are facilitated by him. They are given by him. All these arrangements are made by the Paramatma. He is empowering. He is giving, because unless Paramatma enters, the whole the creation don't become conscious. Unless, that means the energy don't flow. You may have the things, but they cannot act unless the Paramatma is there. So Paramatma makes these things activate in this world. Without Paramatma, like without the driver, car don't move. So without Paramatma entering into the the metal nature don't function. It is dead only. Even living entity is there, he cannot do anything with this metal nature. It will not under our control. Like even if I want to move my hand, it is Paramatma should sanction. Or Paramatma don't sanction, I cannot move my hand only. So what to speak of doing any other activity, right? So that is very much to be understood. Even for our movement of our body and to speak, to see, everything is by Paramatma. He has to sanction. So this is the main function. That means living entity want to enjoy. Paramatma comes, he gives all the facilities. Okay, do this, do this. Like sometime mother is helping the child to enjoy. So she teaches the child, okay, mix this food item and eat like this. So everything is done by the mother. The child is like trying to, very small child, facilitating. For us also, everything is done by Paramatma only. He's facilitating our enjoyment in this material world. That is the first feature. Second is to guide a living entity towards him ultimately. But living entity don't want to listen to him. Maybe one lifetime whenever he listens. Like now we are trying to listen to Paramatma, and he's manifesting as spiritual master. So by hearing spiritual master, we are hearing to Paramatma. So that is also Narada Muni says. Purpose, writing and purpose. And then the next topic he talks about is the word Pramada mentioned in this regard refers to material intelligence or ignorance. We should know why Lord is coming as Paramatma. That is important, because, and then second is when one takes shelter of this kind of intelligence, he identifies himself with material body. So this is the second thing. So why is considered to be intelligence, and so it is material intelligence or spiritual intelligence. It depends. So now this identification is very strong for all of us, and that is the cause of our suffering. We cannot blame anyone for our suffering. If I am identifying with certain things and I am crying, then why should I blame someone? Like I was hearing one small story. One person, he was having a very big house, and many people were telling, oh, can you sell this to us? And he said, no, no, I don't want to sell. And he was so attached to it. And he was having three sons. And one day he went outside for some purpose. He went out of the town. And when he came back, he saw that his house is burning. And he was becoming so sad with that. My house is burning. I lost all my money. Then one son comes and says, oh, don't worry. Yesterday only I sold this house to somebody. So no need to worry. Immediately he became pacified, and he start observer. He understood, oh, it is not my house. Somebody else's house is burning. So he became very normal. He became an observer. And then another son comes and says, actually, we sold it, but we didn't take any payment. It was an agreement. That's all. Then again he started lamenting, oh, my house is burning. I lost everything. And the first son comes and says, no, no, no. That person, he said, even the house is burning because I gave the word, I'll pay the payment. Again, he got pacified. That time, again, he became an observer. He said, somebody else's house is burning now. So that means same house, in when he is identifying with it, he is suffering. When he is thinking, oh, it is somebody else, he became an observer. So this is actually applicable to us in all situations. That's what Lord is trying to make us help. He's giving this knowledge. He's telling it does not anyway, it does not belong to you only. It is Paramatma. You are given this body. Why we have to change our bodies all the time? This is also one of the reason to make us understand that it was never mine. It is not a permanent thing I am getting. Like if I am changing my houses, then I know that this is house I am going to stay for few days. I have to go to another house. I will not be attached. I know it is not mine. I just have to stay. Similarly, these bodies are also like that only. Lord is facilitating, Lord is helping us change the bodies so that we understand that it does not belong to me, and then we give up our false identity. But unfortunately, we continue to identify, oh, my body, and then we feel pained. So here, proper buddhi, that's what tesham satadiktanam bhajatam pritam dadami buddhi yogam tam. So this buddhi is what Krishna want to give. So real intelligence means linking with the Supreme Lord. But we are so much, mada means madness, pramada means super madness. So we are janasya mohoyam aham mameti. And what is to be done? Clean that. Cheto darpana marjanam. So when we are chanting, automatically that enlightenment comes in the heart and we feel detached from the things which are connected to our body, and then eventually with the body also. The greatest detachment we should happen with the body. But eventually it happens. So, and then the five working senses and the five senses that acquire knowledge are male friends, and the living entity is assisted by these senses in acquiring knowledge and engaging in activity. Nobody should be these are the facilities Lord is giving us to enjoy. So we should know that they are not ours, it's a facility. So the engagement of senses are known as girlfriends, and the serpent is the pranavayu. And then next he says that the 11th attendant, who is the commander of others, is known as mind. So he is the main culprit. And so we are discussing how to access Paramatma. When our mind is calm, we get access to Paramatma. So that is very clear. If I want to hear what Lord is trying to tell me, we should calm our mind. And the greatest enemy of mind for the present age is the shorts which are there on the YouTube and Instagram. They are the greatest enemies. We should not look into it. It is going to make us go away from Paramatma, because mind is getting agitated. Anything that is agitating the mind, that's why excess of anything is bad. That is not going to help. Excess of violence, excess of pain, excess of pleasure. That's why brahmacharis na, they are told not to attend extreme pleasure and pain situations. Of course, now there is some obligations we have to go. Actually, you don't feel now the marriages or even death ceremonies, death places. They are excessive pain places, excessive pleasure and pain. Initially it is not recommended, because now if you are if you are not an observer, you get affected by the surroundings. What is happening to people around, it definitely affects, and it is not good for the mind, especially initial stages. Of course, once you grow, that's different. But anything that agitates the mind, we should keep it distance. And that's why yuktahara viharasya yukta chestasya karmasya yukta swapnabodhasya yoga bhavati. Everything is regulated. And for grahasthas especially, two things are very important for them to progress. This I have always insisted. One is regulation, one is giving charity. So these two things will make them progress very fast. Charity means you bring devotees to home, feed them prasadam, or some sort of charity should be there. That means some portion of money should go for serving others. Anything you are earning, some should go for earning others. And second is regulation. If these two things are there, they will make very fast progress, because the detachment will automatically come. And the mind will not agitate anymore. He is the leader of both senses in acquiring knowledge and in performance of work. The Panchala kingdom is that atmosphere in which the five sense objects are enjoyed. Within that Panchala kingdom is the city of body, which has nine gates. So, nine gates are nine different ways we can enjoy this world. So, every gate, if you remember, each gate he is going and doing one activity, and is a supporter also. Each gate, the Lord is providing with each gate. There's eyes, then there is chakshu, then there is akshini, and then there is ability to see, and then there is fire element, similarly with the ears also. So we have different ways of enjoying this world. So mind is the center of all activities and described as Brihat Bala, very powerful. To get out of the clutches of Maya, neutral existence, one has to control the mind. So control in the sense is to make our mind very calm. And you see, according to training, the mind is the friend and enemy. Manaya Manushanam Karanam Mandamoksham. If one gets a good manager, his estate is very nicely managed. If the manager is a thief, the estate is spoiled. Similarly, the living entity gives power of attorney to his mind. So he is liable to be misdirected by mind into enjoying sense gratification. So and that's why Ambarish Maharaj is Savai Manah Krishna Padhar Vindhyo. The system of Yama means to subduing the senses, and one who can subdue senses is called Goswami. Then next, Narada Muni is telling that, so this is a summary of whatever he has spoken in the last four chapters. That's all. So the eyes, nostrils, and ears are pairs of gates situated in one place. Mouth, genitals, and rectum are also different gates. Being placed into a body having these nine gates, the living entity acts externally in the material world and enjoys sense objects like form and taste. So this is discussed, and then he says that the two eyes, two nostrils, and mouth, all together five, are situated in the front. Right ear is accepted as southern gate, left as the northern. Two holes or gates situated in the west are known as rectum and genitals. And the two gates named uh, Pratyodhata and Avirmukhi, which have been spoken of, are the two eyes side by side in one place. The town named Ibrajati should be understood as form. In this way, the two eyes are always engaged in seeing different forms. So the friend is Vibrajita. So he is the Lord is helping us to see. And this is the technology which we are developing through mobiles also. We want to, the cameras and all, they have this technology. But thing is, they need some, but there is no consciousness in it. But the technologies we are trying to imitate, the technology of eyes, we are not perfectly able to imitate. If you see, even Darwin also, he acknowledges, he says that, like, say if I am seeing something very near, immediately my eyes can adjust and immediately sees what is near. And I am saying something very far, 1 kilometer far, little distance, immediately my eyes can adjust and see. But if you want to focus a camera on certain things, you have to adjust the lens. Then only it can focus on far and then near. Immediately it cannot do both the things. So the quality will not be good. For our eyes, that adjustment is done automatically. So we have a better technology than the cameras, the most modern cameras also. So how the eyes have this technology and where is the adjustments, that cannot be known. Your understanding. So similarly with our ears also. So we can hear small to some range, we can hear properly. So our, this is also same technology but very subtle technology, which we are trying to imitate with our machines and all. Hearing, seeing, speaking, which are done by the modern computers but not properly done. Anyway, someday we may perfect it, but it does not make any sense. And then the two doors, Nalini and Nalini, should be known as the nostrils, and the city named Subraha responds to aroma. And then Avidhuta is the smell, and Mukhya is the mouth, Vapina is the faculty of speech, and Rasagnya is the taste. So these are the opportunities to enjoy. And now Prabhupada is making nice point. He says that Avadhuta means most free. A person is not under the rules and regulations of any injunctions when he has attained the stage of Avadhuta. This Avadhuta stage is exactly like air, which does not carry any obstruction. So this is a very nice point. That means we are there, but we are not affected. Chanchalam hi mana Krishna pramati balavadridam tasyaham nigraham manye vayorivashu dushkaram. Just as air or wind cannot be checked by anyone, the two nostrils situated in one place enjoy the sense of smell without impediment. When the tongue is present, the mouth continuously tastes all kinds of relishable foodstuffs. So this is the danger for all of us. The city called Apana represents the engagement of tongue in speech. Bahudhana is the variety of footsteps, and 2 years, the right ear is the gate for Pitru and left for Devahu. So Nardamani is continued. The city spoken of the Dakshini Panchala represents the scriptural meant for directing pravritti, the process of sense enjoyment and fruitive activity. The other city named Uttar Panchala represents the scriptures meant for describing fruitive activities and increasing knowledge. The living entity receiving different kinds of knowledge by means of 2 years. Some living entities are promoted to Pitraloka and some to Devaloka. All this is made possible by 2 years. So, with one, he is hearing how to enjoy, with one, he is understanding how to get liberated. So, this is what is given. We have to see which direction we want to go, and most of the people are interested in how to enjoy this world. All the success that is considered in this world presently, what is success? How a person is successfully enjoying this world, he is considered successful. That is the success for the people, but because that is the mindset of the people, that is the standard of living of people. So based on, like, for children in the school, what is the success? If you are getting a good grade, that is success. That means that is the norm that is set by everyone in the school. He is the topper, uh, he is the intelligent person, but that should be that is for that level of consciousness. And somebody who are great addicts of certain items, so what is the hero of them? Array, he can drink a bottle of liquor without putting it down. He is a hero for them. That is their level of consciousness. You're understanding. So presently, the level of consciousness are people is stuck in Rajoguna and Tamoguna. For them, success is who is able to enjoy better. So all the celebrities, all the movies, what they show, this person is able to beat somebody. This person is able to outsmart somebody in terms of cheating with money. So that is considered success. So because that is the level of consciousness, what is the success for you? But for us, the success is who has controlled their mind and senses, who is able to completely absorb in himself in Krishna. They are our heroes. The Goswamis are our heroes. You are seeing the difference. So here, very important to know that we should not get affected by the outside success of people. We should not take them as heroes. That is the greatest mistake. And next, he says that city called Gramaka, which is approached through the lower gates of Asuri, the genital organ, is meant for sex, which is very pleasing to common man who are simply fools and rascals. The faculties of procreation is called Dhumada, and the rectum is called Nirati. Now, Prabhupada is writing very huge purport. He says, when the world becomes degraded, civilization becomes demonic, and for common man, the rectum and genitals are taken very seriously as center of all activity. Even in such a sacred place as Vrindavan, India, unintelligent men pass off this ras, uh, rascal and genital businesses as spiritual activity. Such people are called sahajiyas. According to their philosophy, through sexual indulgence, one can elevate oneself to the spiritual platform. From these verses of Srimad Bhagavatam, however, we understand that the desire for sexual satisfaction are meant for Arvaka, the lowest among men. To rectify these rascals and fools, it is very difficult. After all, the sex desire of common men are condemned in these verses. The word Durmada means wrongly directed, and Nirati means sinful activity. Although this clearly indicates that sex intelligence is abominable and misdirected, even from the ordinary point of view, the Sahajiyas nonetheless pass themselves off as devotees conducting spiritual activity. For this reason, Vrindavan is no longer visited by intelligent men. We are often asked why we have made our center in Vrindavan. From the external point of view, it could be concluded that Vrindavan has become degraded due to this Sahaji activity. Yet, from the spiritual point of view, Vrindavan is only place where all the sinful people can be rectified by means of taking birth in the forms of dogs, hawks, and monkeys. By living in Vrindavan as a dog, hog, or a monkey, the living entity can be elevated to the spiritual platform in the next life. So Prabhupada is very merciful. He's giving this blessing for these people who are even sinful in Vrindavan. They are also going to, they become animals in next life, and then they will be elevated. And it is said that so the that is the state of their consciousness. That's what we have to understand. When the consciousness is that level, the pleasure of, for them, the success is that, the pleasure is that only. For a small child, what is the success and pleasure? If he gets a good toy and if he can eat a ice cream or a chocolate, he's considered, I got my pleasure and I am enjoying my thing. That is his level of consciousness. He don't need more than that. So as we grow, in terms of consciousness, we should grow. But what happens now after age of 15 and 21, we stop growing in consciousness. There the problem stops. There the problem comes actually. What happens along with the body, consciousness grows. But at a certain age, we stop growing in consciousness. We only grow in the person, body, and other activities. But if a person gets a proper spiritual training, he will grow in consciousness at the age of 21 also. This is another thing we should understand. We are Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya. At the level of Manoya, people stop growing. Uh, Vijnanamaya, Anandamaya, they don't want. So, body, like a small child is an Annamaya stage. And then he starts identifying with his friends and all. Then he knows that, oh, I, along with me, others also exist. Then he comes to Pranamaya stage. And then he comes to the Manomaya stage where he wanted to serve others, develop a relationship and all. And after that, there is Vijnanamaya stage, the realization that there is something beyond this, that stop growing. That is the for animals, na, they don't grow like that. They just remain at Annamaya stage only. But for humans, this opportunity is there to grow in consciousness. But after the age, there is stoppage. Because I don't know why it stops, but it stops for most of the people. They just remain there. I forgot the reason. Uh, I will try to recollect sometime why we stop growing after age of 21 in consciousness, unless we get the association of things. Naturally we grow. After that, we don't naturally we grow. We have to make a conscious effort to go to the next level. This is the one of the reasons. The consciousness naturally grows till manomaya stage. We don't need to put any effort. But after that, to grow to manomaya to vijnanamaya and anandamaya, we have to make an effort. This is one reason. I forgot other reasons. So when it is said that Puranjana goes to Vaishya, it is meant that he goes to hell. He is accompanied by Lubadaka, which is working senses in rectum. So formally, I have also spoken of two blind associates. These associates should be understood as hands and legs. They help the hands and the legs. Living entity performs various works. So if a soul is leaving his body, if a person is passing urine and stool when he is dying, that means his soul is leaving from the lower parts of his body and he is going to lower state as either animal or hell. As people pass stool and urine, that means they are seeing Yamadutas, they say. When they see Yamadutas, they pass stool and urine and then they leave their body. And they get indication of Yamadutas sometimes from the very beginning also. They see them from little early also, and then they pass in that way, which is very unfortunate. Many of the people they live, and some people live from the mouth. Some people live their soul through eyes, and then very few people who are yogis they can live from the Brahmarandra. Otherwise, most of the people nowadays they are. I have seen, like Prabhupada said, that if a person eats and immediately goes for clearing his stomach, immediately after eating, then he will see Yamadutas. And I have seen one of our grandmothers. She used to do that immediately after, and then when she was dying, not from few months only, she used to tell, "I am seeing somebody. I am seeing somebody," and she used to take tobacco. This what do you say? Betel nut along with the tobacco will also come. So she used to chew that, and then she used to pass stool after eating. So two things, and I read from Prabhupada's purport that this is sinful activity. You are breaking four regulative principles. Tobacco chewing is breaking four regulative principles, and she used to pass. I have seen that she used to tell. That time I was in the school. I was in 10th class, and she used to tell before only. Arey, I am seeing somebody. I am afraid. I am seeing somebody. In villages, na, they sleep outside. So she said, I want to sleep inside. And she was sleeping outside from many years. On all seasons, she used to sleep outside only because you have big veranda and all. But she used to tell, I am seeing somebody, I am seeing somebody. That time I didn't know. But after coming and reading Prabhupada's purport, I understood she was seeing Yamadutas. And she was very fearful and then she left her body in that way. So the point is, people leaving the body from the lower parts, passing stool and urine, most likely they are going to go lower direction. That's what here Nardamani is also telling. When the word Anantapura refers to the heart, the word Visuchani, meaning giving everywhere, indicates the mind. Within the mind, the living entity enjoys the effects of modes of matter nature. These effects sometimes cause illusion, sometimes satisfaction, sometimes jubilation. So this is a very complicated thing that happens to all of us. Mind gets absorbed in the activities of three modes. Whatever is happening in front of us, na, it is uh, the manipulation of three modes only. Everything moving is three modes are moving. Everything is changing. Three modes are only changing. It's like a matrix. Everything is. changing, but it is all done by the modes. And we are so much absorbed in that changes by the three modes. That's why Traigunya Vishayaveda, Distraigunya Bhavarjana. We have to transcend the modes, but we get bewildered by the modes. Modes are so complicated. Like I am seeing in front of me. If I am seeing whatever I am seeing three modes only, right? And they are so complicated. So this is Gyanapath will not do it. They just meditate on this, how modes are acting and how I am aloof from it. And that is their sadhana. For us, our sadhana is we don't meditate on it. We meditate on Krishna and Krishna will take care of it. So there is a difference in it. But just this knowledge I wanted to share. So the mind and intelligence of living entity in the metal existence are affected by modes of metal nature. And according to the SS, now our mind is also made by modes. That's why we get so much affected by it. Our mind is mode of sattva, rajas, and tamo. We should increase the sattva of our mind. So if what is mind made of? Mind also made of three modes only, right? So to situate in sattva is what is the purpose. We have to bring our mind to mode of goodness. That's why I was telling regulation to bring our mind to mode of goodness. Then we can be aloof from what is happening around. Otherwise, my wife is shouting, my husband is nagging, and he is also unreasonable fellow. My children are too disturbing. All these things will all affect us. They are affecting whom? They are affecting our mind only because mind is in passion. But if we are in goodness, even though these things are happening, it won't affect us. So if we are getting affected, who is at fault? We are only because mind is not in sattva. It is so much in tamo, and we feel so much lamentation comes because mind goes into tamo guna. And desires come and we want to run around, we want to create, we get affected because mind is in passion. In sattva, mind is little calm, is get some ideas of detachment. It says, oh, everything is fine, okay. So it is our mind that is taking us on a ride. If we understand, then we'll not blame anyone. So same situation, a person can be very happy also. If wife is very unreasonable, person will feel very happy. Yes, Krishna is teaching me how to be detached in this world. If a husband has ego problem, wife is also very happy. Yes, I understand. So this is what is matter nature. I should not be attached. And children are in a particular way. That is also cause of detachment. So everything we can take it positively, or we may lament, oh, why I got this situation, why Lord is not merciful. No, Lord is very merciful. He is properly teaching. Only thing is we are not able to learn. That is that is our mistake. So it is all with the mind. That's what we are bewildered by here. Prabhupada is writing very clearly. So what more Prabhupada can tell? You tell. He is telling everything that is needed. We are affected by the modes of mental nature, and according to the association of mental modes, the mind is habituated to go here and there. The heart feels satisfaction, jubilation, or illusion according to the modes of mental nature. So satisfaction is when in sattva, jubilation in passion, illusion in ignorance. Actually, the living entity in the metal world remains inert. That means soul, nothing is going to happen to soul. It is the modes of mental nature that acts on the mind and heart. You see, what is acting on us is modes, either in the heart or mind. Heart is with desires, mind is with feelings. So this is a difference. What is the difference in mind and heart? Mind has all sorts of emotions, and hearts have all sorts of desires. The result is the results are enjoyed or suffered by living entities. Prakriti Kriyamanan. And Nardaman is telling formally it was explained that the queen is one's intelligence. You see, this is what we always discuss. While one is awake or asleep, that intelligence creates different situations. Being influenced by contaminated intelligence, the living entity envisions everything and simply imitates the actions and reactions of his intelligence. That's all. We are envisioning certain things. Intelligence creates different situations. So, being influenced by contaminated intelligence, envisions something and simply imitates. So, very nice knowledge. The queen of Varanjana is described here as intelligence itself. Intelligence acts both in the dream state and in the awakened state. But it is contaminated with three modes of material nature. So since the intelligence is contaminated, the living entity is also contaminated. We have to purify intelligence because living entity as such is pure only, but it is identifying with the contamination. I am this kachada. So what can we do? In the conditioned state, the living entity acts according to his contaminated intelligence. Although he simply remains an observer, he nonetheless acts by being forced by contaminated intelligence, which is relative in a passive agent. That means I am identifying with the garbage. I am thinking I am the garbage and then I act like that. So what can anybody do? We have to tell, no, you are not garbage, you are good only. So, and the another important thing Nadman says, when I refer to the as the chariot, which is actually the body, the senses are the horses that pull the chariot. As time passes, year after year, the horses run without obstruction, but in fact, they make no progress. Why? This is very important. Why even the chariot is running, they don't make any progress? The reason is pious and impious activities are two wheels of the chariot. That's why we don't make any progress because we just remain with pious and impious activities. We have to do which are not pious and impious. We have to do devotional activities. Then we make progress. What is this progress? This progress is of the consciousness in progress. It is not in material progress. Array, I made so much progress. I built 4 houses and no, I have this much estate and this much money, this. That is all not progress because progress is in terms of consciousness. The three modes of material nature are the chariot's flags. You remember we draw the chariot also. The five types of life airs are constituent constitute the living entity's bondage, and the mind is considered the rope. Intelligence is the chariot driver, the heart is sitting place in the chariot, and the dualities of life such as pleasure and pain are knotting places. The seven elements are the covering of the chariots, and the working since the five external processes. Thus, 11 senses are the soldiers. Being engrossed in sense gratification, the living entity seated on the chariot hankers after fulfillment of his false desires and runs after sense enjoyment, life after life. So we have drawn the chariot. If you remember uh, in the previous chapters, I have drawn the chariot. I will see if I can open for you. Okay, let it be. We'll complete this section. And the entanglement of living entity in sense enjoyment very nicely explained in this word. The word samvatsara meaning the progress of time is significant. Day after day, week after week, fortnight after fortnight, month after month, year after year, the living entity becomes entangled in the chariot's progress. The chariot rests on two wheels, which are pious and impious. The living entity attains a certain position in life in a particular type of body according to his pious and impious activity. But his transmigration into different bodies should not be taken as progress. You see, this is not progress. Proportional real progress is explained in Bhagavad Gita. Tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti. One makes real progress when one does not have to take on another material body. That's all. Ete ब्रह्मानंद भरी अनंत जीव गण 84 लक्ष योनिते करेन भ्रमण. This is actually not success only. We are wandering in 84 lakhs of species. Real progress is to getting out. Ah, Brahma Bhuvanar Loka. So our position in this material world, if you remember, that is what Jiva Goswami also explains, is based on the consciousness. So we are going up and down based on consciousness, but we are stuck in this material world because consciousness is stuck with pious and impious activities. You are understanding? As long as pious and impious activity, we are stuck in this material world only. We go Brahma Bhuvanar look up and down we are going. But the real thing is not to just be up and down in this material world, pious and impious. We have to do something beyond pious and impious activities. So this is actually what Brahma Bhuvanar Loka Prabhupada is explaining. Even if one is promoted to Brahma Loka, highest planet, he has to come down to lower planets. Being illusion, he thinks he is making progress. He is like an aeroplane encircling Earth day and night, incapable of leaving Earth's gravitational field. Actually, there is no progress because aeroplane is conditioned by Earth's gravity. So, Nartam Das Thakur says, Karma Kanda, Jnana Kanda, Kevala Vishaya Rabanda, Amrita Balaya Yebe Kaha, Nana Yoni Sada Pare Kardhaya Bhakshana Kara, Tara Janma Adha Pate Yaya. The living entity struggles very hard due to influence of fruitive activities. So we see people doing very pious activities that is so much inspiring. That's why we see, oh, so much they are very religious, they are dharmic people. But we are not interested in dharmic people. Whole canto is about that only. Don't be influenced by dharmic people. Prabhupada says in these verses, the word Mriga, Trishna, Pradhavati are very significant because the living entities influenced by a thirst for sense enjoyment. He is like a deer that goes to desert to search out water. In a desert, an animal simply searches in vain for water. Of course, there is no water in the desert, and the animal simply sacrifices its life in an attempt to find it. Proposing everyone is planning for future happiness. This is the because we always have this hope. That's why we are able to survive. Otherwise, most of the people will commit suicide and die. They are all hopeful of the happiness in future. Everyone is planning. We don't live in present because we are hoping for the future that we'll be happy. A person who is spiritually elevated, what is one of the symptoms? He lives in present. This moment, what I have to do, and he's so conscious about it, and then he is very happy. When we live in present, na, we can be very happy. So happiness, even people experience in this world is our mind is in the past, lamenting about the past, or hoping or fearful or hoping about the future. And when the mind passes from the past to future, it goes through present. That is the time we become happy. Like it's a pendulum going from past to future. In between there is present. So when it touches the present part, that is the time we become happy. That means conscious. So for us, we have to learn to be in the present, and that is why we chant, sit and chant to be in present. And mind don't want to in present while chanting. Either is thinking about the past or thinking about the future. We can bring our mind to be present and just focus on the holy name. Being in present when we are serving the deities. We have to be in present when we are cooking and doing arati or something. When we are hearing class, we have to be present. That's why when we hear Bhagavatam classes, we are little happy because we are conscious of what we are hearing. We remain in the present. So Kirtan also, some things which will make us to remain in present, we have to do that activity more and more and help ourselves. So that's actually very important. And Prabhupada is telling everyone is planning for future happiness, thinking that somehow or other, if he can reach a certain point, he will be happy. In actuality, however, when he comes to the point, he sees that there is no happiness. He then plans to go further and further to another point. This is called Mrigatishna, and its basis is sense enjoyment in the material world. So we'll just take this last one. He has previously explained Chandavega's powerful time is covered by days and night named Gandharvas and Gandharvis. The body's lifespan is gradually reduced by the passage of day and nights, which is numbered 360. So Prabhupada is writing here. The living entity travels on this chariot day and night during a year consisting of 360. Now we almost completed 365 days. We are going to complete. This year is gone. 2025. Life's progress is taken for the unnecessary labor required to cover these 360 days and nights of life. So, thank you very much. Any questions, comments? So, there is a question: what is happening in Paramhamsa stage? Paramhamsa stage, their mind is completely absorbed in Krishna. So, nothing is happening to them. Anything is happening that is external, it does not matter only for them. So, any questions, comments? Uh, oh, pranayama, we are bringing our mind to present. We are bringing our mind to sattva guna. So that is what we are doing. We are removing the passion and ignorance from the mind when we are doing pranayama. Oh, sorry, I'm reading wrong. Annamaya, pranamaya. Okay, pranamaya stage. Annamaya stage is where we are only thinking about my own food and my own things. In pranamaya stage, na, we see that other living also exist. So pranamaya stage is a stage where we are identifying other living entities around us. So when we are very small, we are just interested in food. And pranamaya stage comes, I know, oh, my mother is there, my father is there, my brother, sister also there, my friends also there. I remember, I understand the existence of other living entities. So that is the stage of pranamaya, where when a child is very small in the lap of mother, na, he cannot understand. He is only interested in his own food and other things. But in Pranamaya stage, then he recognizes others' presence. And Manomaya stage, he understands pleasure and pains of other people. He wanted to help them, serve them. I'm just giving very brief. So he is trying to live a properly in the life in the society where he sees the pleasure and pain of other living entities. And you see in general, normal people how they live, they mostly are in the stage of pranamaya, manomaya stage, like proper rules and regulations of the society we are following. We know I have to cooperate, I have to live properly, be good, do good. All these things is at the level of manomaya. And then vijnanamaya stage is where you are not just interested in being good in this material world. You want to go beyond this world, understanding a more subtler things, the soul, the higher level of consciousness. Anandamaya is when we are completely absorbed in Krishna doing devotional service. It's like that. Okay, Mataji. Maybe sometime we can have elaborate discussion on it. Just briefly told. Okay, we have one questions. Yes, Vrindavan Gopal.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances. So, Prabhuji, I just want to know, can you please explain, regarding Jnana Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga, exactly means what are the practices that sadhakas do? Like, what is the difference between three practitioners?
There are many details we can understand, but I'll give some very simple thing. Like what happens is uh, a person at the Jnana Yoga, he works more with his intelligence. He is using his intelligence to analyze things, how this material world, how I am entangled, how everything is made of this 24 elements. And it's a, like you give the example of kaleidoscope, very simple example. This is actually very important. This is what is the meditation. Like you have some few pieces of glasses, you keep in some closed, and then you have a small mirror to it, and when you look into it, you find different colors are manifesting in it. Now there, if you open a kaleidoscope, it's just few glasses, but they manifest different forms of colors and lights there, if you know how it works. Now, similarly, this world also is made of just few elements, 24 elements, and but they manifest in such a different ways we get bewildered seeing them. You're understanding? So this is what is jnana yoga meditation. They see, array, I'm getting bewildered by all these 24 elements only. There are panchamahabhutas, tanmatras, and karmendriyas, gyanendriyas, manas. That's all these things are manifested in different ways, and we get bewildered seeing them. But behind that is just this not Mendeleev periodic table, but these elements are these five elements, these 24 elements only. You are understanding? So they meditate on the elements, Sankhya. And when it comes to Ashtanga yogis, they're more working on the mind. What they do, they try to control the thoughts and impressions in the mind by severe austerities. So they are more working on how to get, how to hold the mind and not to get affected by what is happening around. So they're more focusing on the mind level. They're serious. So they do extreme austerities to control the mind. When it comes to bhakta in bhakti yoga, I am just giving very fundamental thing. We are more working on our ego level, because ego is what makes us do any activity. So now I am identifying with the body, but now I have to identify that I am a servant of my guru, and then eventually servant of Krishna. So if I identify like that, I act as a servant of Krishna. Then all my activities become spiritual because they are directly connected to Krishna. So these are the three main difference where they work. Of course, we also work in analyzing things properly with intelligence. We also work on controlling our mind, but our main focus is to change our ego. Whereas in Ashtanga Yoga, the main focus is controlling the mind. In Jnana Yoga, main focus is in developing a discriminative intelligence. So these are the main three differences we can say in a very rough. Okay, bro. You're okay, bro?
Yeah, yes, Roji. Thank you.
Yes. Yes, Gail Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Yeah, um, yeah, it's amazing that you were discussing this Annamaya and Manomaya, Pranamaya thing, because just this morning um, I was having the same exact conversation, and I was getting a little confused, and I got confused again just now when you were explaining, because I was thinking that Pranamaya. I'm not sure how if I'm pronouncing it properly, but pranamaya is when you recognize that there's others beyond yourself, right? Like you
Yeah,
know that you
yeah,
have siblings, you have your mother is there, father is there, right? And then but
yeah,
then you said Maya is when you begin to think about others' needs, not just your own, no?
yeah.
Maya. But I thought that pranamaya would be like that because if you recognize that there are others besides yourself, but you're not yet recognizing that other people have needs too, then I don't understand what's the point of recognizing that there's others besides yourself. You know,
Oh,
I thought that recognizing that there are others besides yourself meant that you recognize that not just you have needs, like you at the stage of Anamaya, but other people are there with needs also, not just yourself.
like you say, now children are going to school. So
Mm-hmm.
now they are at the mostly at the level of pranamaya stage. They know they are my friends. They are there. I have to go. I have to means they are not interested in serving the society, giving contribution to the society. They say me, my friends, my house, my mother. So they know that they all things are there and they relate to them. There is a
Mm-hmm.
relationship, but
Mm-hmm.
there is a conscious like now you have to follow the rules and regulations, do something for the society, contribute something. That level of understanding is not there. So
Hmm.
this is the important aspect, that we don't recognize, we don't come to a level, like say so many people, they are so self-centered. You say, Arey, this person is too selfish, too self-centered, we say. What is that means? They are at the level of pranamaya stage only. So but when a person grows in his consciousness, he want to contribute something to society, do something. And he is little more like a person who is having his wife and children, he is trying to do something for them. So at some level of manomaya manomaya, we can say, because there is some selflessness in this. So he's understanding something higher. But when it comes to person who is so selfish, so self-centered, we can say that he's just a pranamaya stage only. So he just
Um,
knows that others exist, but he's not interested in doing anything. His level of consciousness is that much only.
well, and so therefore you would also say that it's at the monomaya stage where there's a sense of morality comes, no?
Ah, yes, yes. Morality comes that level. Correct.
And also an appreciation for, let's say, the subtler aspects of life, like arts and
Art, yeah, yeah,
and
yes, yes.
culture
They
like
also,
that.
yeah, they also comes. Yes.
Okay, so is at the pranamaya stage, you're a person is so self-centered, they don't have empathy for others really. They have relationship, they recognize they have relationship for things outside themselves, but they don't have like so much concern for others. Then that also sounds like anamoya stage where all you are concerned with is your own bodily needs,
They
you
don't
know?
even know that others exist other than me, like animals. For them, they just want to eat, sleep, and wait. They don't have any other thing other than these three things. They don't know much.
But
Like
even
you don't have.
animals, they acknowledge their relationship with others.
Huh, that
Even
is very,
animals, no?
very. Means very slightly they have, but mostly they are not bothered. What is happening others here, there? They just, if they get their food to eat, they eat and they happily sleep.
But I'm
They
thinking
just.
about how, the like the mothers among the animal kingdom, they can be so protective of their young and so on. It doesn't
Yeah,
seem like
to
just
some, yeah,
fair.
some level of pranamaya stage they can achieve, not more than that. They cannot come to manomaya stage. It
Hmm.
is not possible for them. So we actually in the pranamaya stage, a person knows others exist, and he also try to follow some rules and regulations little bit. It's not that he want to do some proper contribution to society, being selfless, and what you told, the subtle uh, type of things he cannot understand, appreciate, is little very gross.
Hmm.
You can say in a pranamaya stage is very gross, is not subtle.
Hmm.
So he knows
Hmm.
others are existing, but he's like children in the school level. We can see that they know that they are there, and then they just do things. They want to attend, they want to play with the friends and all, but they cannot understand more than that. They're at a pranamaya stage only. They cannot grow. That's why when they grow, then they understand. Okay, some society is there. We have to contribute. We have to do. We have to think of welfare of others, or I have to take responsibility of my family. So this responsibility aspect don't come for them much in the pranamaya stage. They're just interested in, okay, that's why if he gets a job and he gets his money, he's just happy with his money and his job. He can take responsibility of others. Manomaya stage, a person takes responsibility.
Hmm. Uh-huh. Okay, and then just to follow up on the other question, where you were making distinction between Jnana Yoga and Bhakti Yoga and so on. Um, at the in Ashtanga Yoga, right, where you are trying to keep the mind still means focused on a one particular object, right?
Yeah.
And so by keeping the mind focused on one particular object, how does doing so um, lead to Paramatma realization? Why is it? Why is it that by keeping the mind still, you call it holding the mind, right?
When
Why?
our mind is calm, na, we get access to Paramatma for anyone. So they are not just keeping the mind focused. They are want to. Then they have the sadhana of meditating on the form of Paramatma also. Slowly, slowly they meditate on the lotus feet of the Lord. Then the lotus feet are manifested in their heart. They focus on it. Then the thighs, then the navel, then the face. So they focus on Paramatma. So even Ashtanga yogis, they're chanting the Omkar, and eventually they come to the stage where they have to focus on Paramatma.
Yeah, so the keeping the mind still is really meant to support their focus on the form of the Paramatma.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because
So that
if
is
the
what is
mind,
given in the second canto, second chapter. Na? This is what is explained. How the first and second chapters, this is explained. How the meditation on Paramatma is done by Ashtanga yogis.
yeah, because as long as your mind is distracted by external things,
Yeah,
or but those Ashtanga yogis, let's say they're focusing their mind on a candle, for example, right?
yeah.
Then if their mind is focused on a candle or some or whatever
No, actually, this is
material,
all now. These are things which are brought by some people, but actual Shastra says this is not the way of meditation. Meditation is done properly with properly on Paramatma. So these are the new age meditation techniques. Focus on light, focus on candle, all these things. But basically, it is trying to make them bring mind to mode of goodness. But ultimately, if they want to achieve perfection, they have to meditate on Paramatma only. That is not the way. You meditate on some light. You are meditating on some some tube light or street light. Whatever. It won't
oh,
work
but
like that.
yeah, it won't work. But the way it helps though is that
It just brings
I
them to
need
mode of goodness. That's all.
no, I understand, but the way it helps is that if you're because the idea is to keep your focus on Paramatma. But if before you're focusing on Paramatma, you are at least focusing on one thing, then it becomes an easier transition, right? To go from
Yeah, yeah. There is,
focusing
yes.
on,
Yeah, it brings to mode of goodness. So that is advantage is there, but that is not the perfection. It's an advantageous means you are coming one step closer to meditating on Parama.
yeah, right, right. Okay, great. Thank you, Prabhu.
Excellent. So one question in the chat box. I will take that. So many times we see that some devotees, or maybe not a devotee, but someone who is situated in goodness, although they are physically suffering, while they are leaving their body or in a peaceful state. So is it that they are seeing Vishnu Dutas? Although I have some understanding, just wanted to clarify. They may not see Vishnu. If they are not devotees, they will not see Vishnu Dutas because they don't want. Na? Whatever you want, that only you get. If they are not interested in going Vaikuntha, why they will see Vishnu Dutas? If they have practiced bhakti, then they will be interested in bhakti. Otherwise, they will not be interested. They will just uh, be going to a higher destination. Maybe they will think some um, they can see their next destination that they are going into heaven. So when they see their next destination as heaven, they may be very peaceful and happy that I am going higher levels. So that's the thing that may happen, not Vishnu Dutas. Some people can know where they are going before they die. So they become happy that, oh, I am ending up in heaven. So that may cause some pleasure for them. So may not be exactly Vishnu Dutas. So if I am knowing that I am going to say some nice place, so the perspective that, oh, I am going to nice place is going to definitely make us feel happy like that. Arrange. Okay, thank you all very much. Oh yes, Mataji, you had some. Goran, okay. Mataji, you have some question? You have to unmute. We are not able to hear you.
Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam,
Ah,
Prabhu.
Dhanwad Pranam.
Prabhu, can I ask a question if you are not late?
Ah, yes.
Okay. Prabhu, a very fast and quick question. What is the destination of a person who becomes successful on meditating on the Paramatma? Because somebody was telling me yesterday or day before yesterday that they'll merge into Paramatma, or they'll merge into the Brahman effulgence. So I just want to know your, proper answer for that, Prabhu.
It depends, Mataji. If they are feeling, if they appreciate Paramatma, they can go to Vaikuntha and they can become uh, trees or some Shantarasa they can get. If they are thinking I am one with Paramatma, they enter into the body of the Lord, or they may get liberated in Brahman. So it depends on what is the state of the person who is looking at Paramatma, what he is thinking after seeing Paramatma. If he sees I am different from Paramatma and he is appreciating the beauty of Paramatma, he will definitely go to Vaikuntha and he will get his Antarati or something like that. So he may enter into Vaikuntha. Otherwise, he will end up in Brahmajyoti like that.
And unless and until you develop and service attitude to the Lord, you can be only in Shantarasa, Prabhu.
Means if you are just appreciating also, yeah, Shantarati, he may not get rasa, but he may just appreciate, that's all. Okay, Lord is good, I am good. He will not get any feeling for service. Then there is no rasa there. Rasa is only when we want to serve. He don't want to serve, he just appreciating. Otherwise, he will end up in Brahmajyoti, liberation.
Um, I know it's a wider thing. I'm not really able to understand because meditating means they just meditate or just on the form, just see the form and meditate, or with some prayer in their heart they'll meditate, Prabhu, on the Paramatma.
No, they don't pray anything. They're just meditating. It's all just calm. You just have to look at the form. That's all. They don't.
So they are just seeing form of the
They're
Lord
just
and
seeing the form of the Lord, just focusing the mind on the form of Lord. If they develop attraction or appreciation for it, then they enter into Vaikuntha. If they are just seeing the form, but they are not able to feel anything for that form, no emotions, they enter up in Brahmajyoti.
they go into Brahma Jyoti, isn't it, Prabhu? It's not that they merge into the form of the Paramatma. I didn't understand that.
No, that is also there. They enter into the body of Lord. It is as good as Brahmajyoti only.
Okay. Without any identity of a person.
Yes, 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 yes.
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Pranams. Hare Krishna.
Correct. Okay, thank you all very much.